Do you understand? Now, I see these things more of populism.
I didn't hear.
Yes. Because, say, Adwa is his colleague. Now, say, we're too quiet. And government needs her so much to be part of that decision making. Says Kebia was a benson no bois in that decision. I see nothing wrong about that. Especially when there's a thin line between the majority and the minority with an independent candidate. And the presence in the chamber is very important. Me ni kwate miti me who be one a womb. Say you be flying every baby or war nor the bar to be part of that decision making. I see nothing wrong about it.
Even when it is a chartered flight?
Me see, I see nothing wrong about it because you must be the time where you have seen how vicious the NDC have become, how they want to turn everything upside down to make the Nado's government ungovernable. And we have the opportunity that the chief of staff should fly Adwa from the US to be part of that decision making. Me ni Kwartei, I see nothing wrong. This petition, or they call special prosecutor, is dead on arrival. Yes, for me, it's dead on arrival. She's an MP. Now, as a binding here, the presence of chamber no for that decision to take it. Now, what's called Pescado Fanoba. What is wrong about it? What is wrong about it? Because the chief of staff will not take that arrangement. Looking all the airlines in the world, no, say arrangement be on your no. When be also faso, no the do kromwa, no take part in that decision. Also yo. Looking at the style and for the year, the operative of parliament, you know.
Even if, as according to Okwitey, it's costing the taxpayer $140,000.
Democracy is expensive. This is what we have chosen as a country to practice. It's part of democracy. It's part of democracy. I don't know if it's and it's a draw to kind of BB private. Now say abanye hiano. When you go into the collective bargaining agreement between employer and employee, so we will leave. What would he?
Yes.
So we go leave. Oh, Ekosiisen and multimedia and they interrupt your leave. Do you know they can compensate you? They must compensate you. If you have a standing joint collective bargaining agreement, that's a must sign. Every employee that's a wood to coin because say wood to coin out of the jurisdiction. I also catch your employer because the human is in the nitiano at the point in time you can be needed. Say brabe bois with human bibia. And obi obetu coin biano, you must tell the chief of staff. You must inform the president. Say wood to coin. So in case they will need you, they will let you know. What does here? Anything I would to coin here. You also both speaker man here. I also both executive so man here. Say me took up me say. And the yanwa say chile soa. You have be chill with coin. And the baby asamidi adiane ednantino maintenance here. Obi inulesh maintenance here. So no okujetu nasi wo tu coin. Nasi yanwa. So babe bois. Government can extend. Say bepe be o number bois. Nye MP parliament ejuma and the or ya dia na ye too populous and na 1 hour bia na charge you $4,800. Quickly you multiply by the city no say and then so ni and I say some of these things please they can look at it again because the be outside and no no ye he has not changed sa no ye na no okay. I don't want to go personal.
Mama James Kwabena Bomfeh Akwaba. James Akwaba na pom to saying. I don't want to go personal.
Serwenya.
Ne wo na e na waseye on.
De wo
e na ehia no.
Yetiasi na nyaminti ya wadi nyina.
Adi haso wo ho ma yen.
Na wodim say eyi nanu na eyi Kofi Kumbelsen.
Yes.
Peace FM.
Yes.
Now okay, Ecclesiastes 9 verse 4. Let me see. Solomon will over for free. Mina nanum wana. Can say Ecclesiastes 9 verse 4. No.
Ecclesiastes
9 verse 4. Serwenya pepepe.
Okay, Ecclesiastes 9 4.
So if
I say
Philip or say
but for him who is joined to all the living, there is hope. For a living dog is better than a dead lion.
Sirwenya. Ni wawu na hia no kan first part na. What can we ye? Me new version na what can no.
Mami nyusu eyi.
The New King James version.
We NKJV. Yeah, New King James. Into Ecclesiastes 9:4. 4 ne say, okay, the mami fanfa 3 nemra. 3 ne say, this is an evil in all that is done under the sun, that one thing happens to all. Truly, the hearts of the sons of men are full of evil. Madness is in their heart while they live, and after that they go to the dead. But for him who is joined to all the living, there is hope.
That's right.
For a living dog is better than a dead lion.
That's right. What it means is that the whole essence of life. So what in komwa who are dinina. That's it.
5 ne say, for the living know that they will die. But the dead know nothing.
That's right.
And they have no more reward.
That's right.
For the memory of them is forgotten. Wow.
Me say I coffee senior there I also no the way see the scripture here. What kind of strike him and say but you see Obi nyame ache adase nyina
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Me the way chiro me nananom yesrewe nyano no munnim say Ecclesiastes Solomon na true bibisa. But in their own worldview, omu say nipa wuti nkomo a eye ade nyina. Pray for life. Entina Moses, the man who lived and died without diminishing. Deuteronomy 34, verse 7 and 8. He was 120 years, was in a knee and say, Najune, Amafum, Nahondin, Anyemre. For the Bible to make an exception of him tells, or say, Mayen Huya Nakai. Abba. So will be the mukration. Okuja to the Oya, Minia Tatos. Sound is a mukration. Okuja to a mukration. Neswa bad a bomono. Obi. Ya casado do. Yeah. Na intimatism crofo kase
on Asempa FM.
Nimcrophobia yedi. People are not talking. I said, where are you coming from? I'm sure one of the issues, because I was at a forum when that observation was made, and I had the privilege of engaging. He's a senior brother. It's not a fair comment to make. We talk too much in this country. In fact, yakasa na mpempi na yana yakasa akra etia since ye didi atem na yi BC studio ha we dey me penny wo manu twesai. You can make the point without making that point. So that's it. And I think say Urabi W.F. Guterres, a decade of coups. No, as I say, coup d'etats in Africa from 1960 to 1970.
Is that a book Professor Atuguba was referring to?
No.
Okay,
this is
a different book.
I'm talking about. I don't. And he talks about Bibia a ma a coup d'etats be see in the early days after independence. Say now man for nye woman dwene say Abuju Cherry. Sorry, Abuju Cherry. Protocasamu, long suffering. Painstaking. As I say, Yedinya, editor mindset do because nya unkwa ufie. Na uyirene wo ma, odire na makra untimi nya de ope. O man chichiri no eya Abuju Cherry. Ye nya sa abotre no, ena ye de amamra na ye adwuma mamra no. Wo say say ni Kwartei Titus Grover. And our president, ono boni team so person oye bibia ono nko antimi nkoso sika nye omra obi ho emeje kwan any sika odi beye sa adwuma no obi susu dwumadi a wodi no Kwabena Bomfeh me so mintina kire na enko yi a mentiri no one ayi nyina say dodo ayi amamu sanete it goes through a process obewie ne de aba wo ansa na aba manim na akododo mu no say ye sima ba kokora na ye de kasa sima be sensen no enan enso ye pese putu pru bibi asi ye say mpani say u free fresh pause ya butu moja. We need to understand that governance and nation building is delicate. Entina mira former ministers of state are MPs. They were in government too. We saw them. And now almost I want government munde. Ministers. Any MPs we saw you when you were not in government. Adena yema principle okujetu. I like him go quoting principle, but he should stick to the principle. I'm waiting to hear say Muka say he's the best ranked MP.
Yeah, for 2021, we picked him as the best performer.
Yeah, and I say why be
yeah, in his
maybe every year you didn't tell us the cost of the things that he did and where sources of money. You didn't. It is important. When you are ranking them, you need to go into that. But I'm saying this principle now established here. No, I hope he's living by it. So we're filing the audited accounts. I show all the sources of funds. Say, buying maoshe, buying yeshe mount individuals and crank na wajiska womo. Scana mudi becha no. When you say you tax, you choose car gift, you choose tax. Fundraising no fundraising no but be a coin it's important. I'm just saying it. Say, yeah, principle da. Yeah, principle throughout. Minim but meneminia ni Kwartei Titus Global enya adwene so kase assembly a dead on arrival. O preempt. Oh, Mr. Senior. The burden of democracy, I may say, is fidelity to the law. And it is painstaking, long suffering. Long suffering. Your bread, or brancas are your bread, Juma. Or say, or they call special prosecutor.
Asempa FM.
Special prosecutor, or be your Juma. You would be quack. Say, dead on arrival. Special prosecutor. Mama ni yese special prosecutor be ya ni de no yese ni Kwartei Titus Global Daniel ene kan ye na ma special prosecutor kasa that mean fry. So I mean that is what I'm let it go, due process. And I want to appeal to the honorable member of parliament for
Ekosiisen on Asempa
say all kono on submitting to thorough process. On kotra internet so ntwetwe niema emfa enko petition afi ye hwehwa wo say witch hunting. If you are going, you go fully and you go manly. Kob mema so me church ni o mpa opani go church no ka kire o class o si utet ni member so utwa so twa ni member so. Enti no but by and large no obi media me support say yetie obi won susuye bi say ya fa koti kwan so de o man sika aye bibia enya esese ye etu hanamo na ye pe ni pumasi bre. You see asam no emu eye ayi kakra nti no de meka nyina ne say processes ana say kwan ye say ye fa so de ye ne ye masa kwan no enya adwuma na obi na otwa awie ye atwa mu me ko kintampo na metna ka mu fa kuma sa ache kakra na no me papa
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM
kasa na sonte se be ya manfo be hu se me enye nipa na me papa no onim se e free ayi dual carriage no free kuma and cry ekopim apigwa sezi dem
through Suhum Ekoi.
Yeah. To Apija junction. Edem na aka drawings on be ye ama
lines
no atum. Masa
dual carriage
no to Apija.
O ka say Apija no ye ehin.
Baby a wo over branch akoche bi no.
Okay.
Apija.
Okay.
Sa junction no so.
Okay.
Masa for 8 years. They, we see why I endorse Akufo-Addo in 2020. For 8 years. Sa I do encourage President Akufo na shasi o. Omo ya for 8 years. President Mills, President Mahama Baye, omo so mo yi Ghana kwan nyina, that part of the road. Na yansida. Ya nya mana nsida. Say wo call dual carriage a ebeko na papa makani say awie no. Mr. dual carriage from Accra to Kumasi. Mo ye do Apija. The dam encheno. Look, you have no idea how it will reduce travel time. Kumasi Accra and no 3 hours. So we call by average speed of 80 kilometers per hour to 100 kilometers. So we call 120, 140 crowd there. Anyway, massa, it can be less. But traffic.
Single lane the name what?
And what cry?
It's that bad.
Me papa, John Ajekunku for Odia Kukodro and a 2 sana mono because some of those drawings had been there. Suggestions had been there. But so Benya Kukodro 2 sana mono, Papa ye. Mampeni Akufo-Addo aba, wama ye dru baby so me fi se so ani. Na me sa mo na boss ba ko. Me call Kintampo me try me call Asante Kwa. Me nana me papa oda ho. Me call a one mosona udru anso boy friend wo no me fi say volta no na e be wura ho baby fra ho baby ba ye kan wo ta bridge bi da ho eno so adawa enti me call as Adegwa na me dru ho na e dem me say ye no bridge no da ye say o yaye enti e na akova. But mesre no subiom
on Asempa
why no Ekosi Bamboy New Longoro New Longoro your Longoro we no ye new old Longoro na the capital of the Dega who had also called Mo.
Ghana has some now.
Yes, Ghana. Mikrom.
Okay. Or the Minchi towns no sound like Burkina Faso and
so you don't know Ghana well.
Longoro. Okay.
Name the Longoro Tio ma carry Tio. Enti mesre say yes say ya
after bridge na was so mo ye
twaso ko ekopim Bamboy.
In currently na ho na te kokko ana.
In fact, any from bia kokko na te kokko.
Okay.
Me man twaso anko, but I hope say contractor ye dia man no. Ye hwe so amana ye. Then Kintampo Township Road.
O ma ye.
Ye no dia ye nye. Nti no so ade a ha dwene.
Ebi wo ho na so atutu ana say ebi ni ho kra.
Bi ni ho kra na ba bi so ho mo a Kintampo main street bi e ho mo a ye fa so pa no. Eno kra ye asphalt no halfway eni aja halfway. Nti wo drive ho mo a eno so aye balancing kakra. Minim say MCE or mu tu one more MP su tu one more but u tu one more na say empani e wo aban mu anhwe an tu one more nti nyina ye dia no etum bi say de moye no ye ni so na momunya manisi
Kintampo Township Road
because we him say and me fa N1
yes
N1 no
yes
o branch fa abelempi no wọ́n sẹ́ náà wọ́n mọ̀ tutu paa ayé náà mi fọ́ wọ́n mọ̀ yáyẹ́ náà sẹ́yìn àmì bàbá yìí lẹ́ni abiri but I'm spread this Obi I'm doing this to say that when some things are being done yẹn acknowledge yẹn mbọ abaso sẹ́dẹ̀ ebe yà ní ẹ̀ma bí so kọ́ so náà ànkọ́ yẹn ní ẹ̀bẹ̀tán ní yẹ ká ẹ̀nyẹ sẹ́ yẹ dẹ̀ fi nkwan àná bọ̀ ní nkwan ní yẹ we must be balanced. And so you want a nim and you want
Obi the message by Kabila said Obi driving at night on that stretch and when you on your friend is saying when you double road up to Apijana also driving at night on that stretch is dangerous considering that there are no street lights on that stretch the road is smooth though, and it reduces travel time.
Me say, I enter my cassette drawings no so.
Yeah, line markings. Line markings.
Yeah.
Now,
I lighting system no.
But Obi, please correct Kabila. The maximum speed on Ghana's road is 100 kilometers per hour and not 120 or 140.
Okay. Cool.
Even the 100 kilometers per hour is on the motorway. Thank you, Mark. US of A.
I'm using out to US now. Ghana the way you see now America move highway 94. Highway 94. So more anyway. But I mean, there's I'm sure say okay. Traffic regulation now.
Yeah.
Even speed limit.
Of course.
And,
of course.
Yes, I say, yeah.
No, but I'm tempted to believe the 100 kilometers per hour. No?
It's possible.
Yeah.
Yes,
because on the motorway, you know,
yeah,
you are not allowed to go
beyond
below
100.
And even beyond 100.
Yeah.
At a certain speed, you should be
off the road.
Off the motorway.
So
and motorway would be there. There cannot be any other road whose speed limit go beyond what you go on the motorway.
And now say motorway is there anyone be pan home.
In terms of
you see, okay, let me not speak to come and do ignorant. My road express from
yes.
No more
yes.
What the parliament?
Honorable Oklitey Terlabi.
Parliament.
Honorable Dabi. Mike, like us a good mic, no mama. And no na.
Make a documentary be now.
Why me wouldn't feel best.
That's what I want to say. So a politician be with you.
Yeah, politician.
Partisan politician. Yeah. Honorable Oklitey Terlabi. Kwabena pom to say.
Yamia do.
Constituency Boko.
Boko Winia.
Lower Menya crop.
Yes.
Ujina onayeso
Yamiadum. Ejina yenaso.
Opposition MP enye easy sao.
It is not at all. Yeah. Pleasant.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's interesting. Yes. Nah, it's an experience. You know,
you have been there before.
Yeah,
but say constituency in himself opposition at least almost limited demands like account.
No, they don't know. Even if Bisavinu you say only parliament Bisavinu say demands no matter. Once a soldier, always a soldier. Among say you're honorable.
I think that Obi, you have that experience. Once you have a public space,
absolutely,
a public voice,
those things will come.
They'll come.
And
they will not stop.
They won't stop.
They won't stop coming. They still identify with you there.
As I was do baby na I only nipa be say 10 na ma. Na
bibi abeto bia obetua.
Nyeso bibi abeto bia na obetua. Obi wo fans ni na obi be gine kwa.
About with responsibility. Enye easy. Wow. But honorable, me just say ufi parliament na be.
Yes.
Na minim say na wutie me ne wo colleague okuche to abla kwa nkomo na.
In fact, man, tie me do Kabila na me tie.
Okay.
Me tie kakra haya.
Okay. Honorable okuche to say or petition special prosecutor on a friend is saying Adwoasafo, my colleague Adwoasafo.
Yeah.
Flight or they every US was started and I say why the calculation they bear $140,000 US.
That's right.
And the special prosecutor and him. You are in parliament with him, as I was saying.
Yeah, me that's it. I'm say me chia minia Titus ne Kabila. Kabila de me chia na che. Na me na me himself say we jai politics to but you see that film who your proper nomenclature.
I am Republican born nationalist
Ghanaian, very well.
It is in my
DNA.
Yes.
Very well.
And you know, it's good to see you again. Yegusu, ye film ye.
More party.
Your party no more.
But honorable patrol, whether by way of information, OB general speed limit ranges from 30 to 50 kilometers per hour. Urban areas 80 kilometers per hour. Regional and interregional 90 kilometers per hour. National highways 100 kilometers per hour.
Thank you. From road safety.
Road safety for
somebody who has that information.
But you are going over the bar.
Of course.
But I believe that we no is subject to communities along the road and also influence.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just you move along. Who say you are getting to a town.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And they are subject to
yes.
Yeah, that's true.
In
the Twasoma.
Yo, epidemic. Well, I didn't hear in my mantie discussion about moye no money, but Sebi Ghana Hanuno and obi timi tie bibi or radio so na wako can't police force this is what is happening. Now police will take action. And it knows member of parliament ehun bibi na chire na adwen non tiasia I'm say or security redress and
Ekosiisen on Asempa
special prosecutor no so no o hwe ye mra no tumi a ye de man no normal to say no false politically exposed person to say ya that's sikabi
Asempa FM
na so say ya ana we must spend sikabi won so say must be justified be kire di ntia sai sika no ese wo mo de ko almost spending that amount of money in the first place. So that it must be established. So has been spent.
Okay.
Now from which vault?
Okay.
Philanthropists be no baby now know this kind of buy and almost spending so. So if you buy mu na no ye twa adwo say no more heading and it ye na ye sika say ye use no judiciously said a super bank for so and it is a do not go for baby then somebody must answer. Tell us why you decided to use a bicycle and that much and go find but I think it is not out of place.
Okay.
So Boka could be someone said and it so can I mean Udika.
You agree with
Udika.
Very well. Right. Honorable Daniel Lee Kwartei Titus Glover. Brana Obi the message by earlier time and I will cast Honorable Ben Aye. Yeah, please ask Honorable Titus whether it is an established fact that public funds were used to pay for the flight.
It is not yet established. It's not yet established. It's not yet established. And when Sami is able to send his petition to Espinoa, and I will say whether it is coming from public purse or a non-public
purse is the ground
for which it was. And the minimum Yameka and they say, I see nothing wrong about it. She's a member of parliament. No, preemptive, but
why I'm stopping you is that you are moving to a
in a sense to deal with the fact
what hasn't been established is what you want to discuss.
Okay.
So
let's leave it at it. Now, I think you are inviting me to start rolling.
Absolutely.
For me.
Oh no, that was intro.
Okay.
Oh no, that was just.
That was just to check how you are doing
Fine.
and how you are hitting.
Constituency, I dance the constituency with you.
Philip, issues near levy. Any government cutting down on somewhat expenditure, right?
Yeah, budget expenditure.
Because they want to make sure say we are within budget, because of certain challenges here. But before that, I think Kabila took the wind out of my sail. Oka BBF Accra and someone Kumasi Road. The Faso Sunday, senior Honorable Kwesi Makwata. Now over the weekend, Saturday. Now I was a make up one year, and the sisters me do the form. I watch my urinary, but I couldn't make it. Because now one of the senior party activists, Mrs. Elizabeth Efia Asianowa Ampoma, no so the form. She's a big sister. Now anyone the share party na say 91, 92. Now maybe 2012 no dimako tripa in my campaign and my elections at primaries and general elections in 90. I spent virtually all my day at the funeral. Na Sunday na mekoja senior no nti bifa kwane so na edem se na Kabila kan no it's edem eno ne say yebenya markings no I bet them so that in the night on Asempa FM to reflect. Then in future no they look at some funding and put the lights on both sides na aboa manaye. But one thing that struck me do enyinam ewo enyinam zongo am a branchy musuan so am the call a cross one. Seriously, I can't why you. MPP were not telling our story. Me fa kwano so right from enyinam zongo musuan junction no e di roma call Kwabena. But me do Kwabena was a left no e di call Boma e di call urinary e call Pempetia e call Pamming and Pempetia all the way there. That's a woofer right no so e do call Bomusu very asamama. No, let me share let me church or you know asamama. Any one who junction to digiti. A demois it will swim to Kide. But Kabila, it's good my brother, my colleague is here. I'm seeing another buying ye Jessica ye GBB and who this kind of year. But what struck me was the model school at Etiwa West, Abomusu town specifically. Me call campus no. On Kwame Nkrumah see Laboni Secondary School
on
Damasco, Winneba, Ghana's Game Transfer Schools no. Damasco, Laboni, Apam, Suesco, Winneba, Tamale, Sunyan. That model no.
Yeah.
And nobody yesi ewa Abomusu. Yesensu CB ewa Pasimpe. Ewa Wale constituency. Who call Pasimpe from Wale to Wungu. Wudu Wungua, now we call Yagabaku Warrior. Bridge na Chinese phone here and Omunye. So you make a detour towards Pasimpe. Now we call Fat Fumbuse Konawa. Now they are call Yagabaku Warrior. Yes, sir, modern school war. I was shocked. Administrative block. Classrooms. About 4 high, round. Dormitories. Science labs. Assembly hall. Kitchen. Canteen. Just say this is a complete school. Yes, see, almost about 80 to 85% complete. And I'm saying, wow. MPP, we are not telling our story. Se mintua na momba ha Matthew. Matthew say yeah keka. But me say no. Let me go and see things for. I have it. Me dey check Terlabi no nche. Na ye blog na ye no. We dey ye blog. Ma ye be there. Let me acknowledge it. But what we have done, another model arrangement, and another aye to the Ministry of Education. No, it's super. This is not STEM, and yes, STEM they send and send it by. But this is a model school. You see, Baku ewo passing pe, Baku ewo Abomusu. I think Bakusu ewo Shanti region or so, and this is what we call complete school. This is what I'm going to see. Aka a road na yedi ko tanebegusu. Furniture yedi be see school at demo no science labs no. What will furnish all these things that will provide, including accommodation for the teachers and the headmaster or the headmistress, future headmistress of the school. Complete. So this is what I want to see. And this can be a year no sabi. And ye no any yedi juma. So those of you mo amosi ye another buying second or jeno wundi or no onko no nkwoche Abomusu pro. Is you want so. This is what is going on there. Na say Aban say I'm the president na oko labor program be
labor conference
Eastern region.
Yes.
And or can say some of the expenditure are going to be reduced because every expenditure we share budget approval na banwa it is tied to revenue flow. And the revenue flow number automatically no, is going to affect every expenditure. Now see ministries, departments, and agencies no budget ni be no ye be expenditure ni ye be twaso. Said ya yentumi nyes kanu imfa nyende was say ye. But it is not his making. But because I was here in Yeskano, then we'll be able to do the necessary Juma. I was ADD near that year. So for me, I see nothing wrong with what the president is saying. And the one say, "Yebabomodian say revenue near year penum. I yedi be Jumano. Ebeba no wano. So we'll be able to tie into certain projects. And he say Parliament, musica being bar. Don't complain. Yes, because it's going to affect everybody. Maybe a committee allowance being bar. As for your salary to go, remember, the committee allowance sitting being embar. And among who say, it can be. It's going to affect everybody. So that, I mean, we all sing from the same shit. And just say, Babu, you have a threat. Say, say. Because, Who just here? And the war sacrifice, and then when the things improves, war enjoy. And make sure Bibia Ekoso one. Now, okay, Bibi, about the ye levy, say a idea, I was a bois, na a mandokoho. Na Ukrainian Yaminim, Ozabozo. When you look at that demon called COVID, and the boy yes, and now America, they've spent almost about $7 trillion US dollars from the days of COVID to improve the economy, because all economies has been touched one way or the other. Which COVID near Ekosiisen and the Anamona President Kufa are buying a tutuya or should I say or the bechi bibia kakano buadiba. As at the end of 2020, we shall grow to 0.9%. Averagely between 2017, 2018, 2019 is between 7 to 8%. Our growth to know we share the trajectory of development growth na Ekosiisen. It was quite good until adi ebekanya ema bibia chese essay. But gradually they've picked up again. Now they are around 3.4%. Yes, but they be assembled kwa mekan and say, Obi, the demands of the state of the citizenry is not going to stop. Minya me colleague Kwartei, who called him Pesaswa. There are a lot of things that it wants to be done. Acquiring Sukua dying, Nansen Namitian, I don't have a friend on a baby, no so free workshop be Aviano Bedu. You see, or see what Nimpa Fee and Echi or no, and if you and school be on a wall, be in I see BB. I don't have an interview on about some problem be about school no any team before now that they are appealing to him to intervene. The entry can be faster to resolve some of these things. And they clearly know who share discussions and see a government revenue. You want to match to GDP now. It's about 13%. We are not doing better at all. Who share the standards within the sub-regional for it's about 18%. Now who GDP and Namsuro and the revenue domestic WGBiano is about 30%. Who kwa say over. It means that we need to be innovative. Quite be fast one. You be pescabia, you be bois, a jumana yen no form no. Said the Indian betias. And for me, I see that yet me my colleagues and this for no. Do baby na me omunyama bi omoye no ya na ehame me home individual will share, will talk. That look, yanya ye bankran me famoto with the buy. Oklitey from beach road the buy. But we won't want the development of this country. And is that how we want us to go? Because everybody is worried the way parliament is being done now. Speakers say me neutral. Or can be neutral. It's on social media. That means that he still wants to be partisan because of where he's coming from.
He cannot be neutral, but he will be impartial.
What does he? But maybe everybody nothing can change. You understand? So clearly, no. Please, okay, let me speak with pain. So we shall be a name. So you multimedia. That's like twaba. Na multimedia ning and a different person. Now what multimedia and I will go twaba editia obi in multimedia. Then you are a traitor. Oh yes, yes. Because if MPP speaker is there, and then you are a traitor. And clearly, as for revenue, we all need to be innovative. Because the demands of this country in every constituency, every economy, and the ye levy na ye canon. Obi, and you Oklitey, ye levy is not a monster. It is not. Obi biara born nobody say kakran why be fast so you be pesque dia kunu. And we must be able to sacrifice and generate money within. Now I am na ebi na me ti argument be say yensan yemfa yenko big brothers here na onchire, because at the end of the day o man obeka say go and develop your own model or not here be boa obeka chiro, because I am no me magic biao or say wa connect own grown politics and am fa be chire me call be first obetumi diso ebi okaka bi odibek so not their soso. But most of the times, you know, omaka just say revenue na wuji no enye munko to taxes munko ye utility munko tum na de ade. And the bana sa na timemufo no ye mia wonkon. That is why you can say, why can't we, in our own small way, ye bibia, you bet me a year with your film. Because we don't watch big brothers here. And you might run when you in their time it happened. Because of credibility crisis in tea, your conquer. So it affected public sector employment. Utilities ekosoro. Yankwala yamuko school kra, university, any secondary schools in ya. Yet utilities. And the sign was here called Debbie. So let us find a way ebepebi ediaba within ourselves. Kakran sa ni yediako. So that's it. Enti sebane sa ebwa na ukwa sorry them. Obenyini wo sidan bema bia obabia wo siso na wo ye odwuma na obutu anamu ye. At least you have to put something wo sidan. That is one of the priority of every soul. Or ye juma say obepe baby edunity akoto. Wa wo hu ekopiska ekosi wo dan. Wo to materials, wo pay labor, wo sidan bibia ewie kama wie a ave na abayaba. Ozi mi wo mere bia mi friend property tax. No tax is fair. No tax is favorable.
Ekosiisen suni higher sempa 94.7 FM. Enti also honorable no munsuo kakra na otimetwa so. Yes, honorable.
Excuse me. Impanye fai. Ko we mu wa. E be easy. Mi pe bro obi. Eto bi tua no. Sometimes it's not fair. E be ni property tax ya mekan.
Yes.
We see wo da wie na abayaba. Oze mi wo mra bia me friend property tax. No dia ba. Na say mi wo fi na assembly abeje bia to. It's about 9 or something Ghana cedis. I have to look for money to go and pay because it's going for a just cause. And the social services be about the metropolitan area at their money. In January, any favorable. Now, we shall start direct tax now with Tiano. When you say one peswa, I bet me the a different salary bracket. Tax because they better. Sanity. So tax in the do baby and you're fair and you're favorable. But because what did you say? At the end of year from some year you baby man for so you comply and make sure it goes. Maka we do you know? Me yanya tidemu ya Christopher. Every month Bible say we share a Bible one or say 10% of your kid be you fango bonya medjuma. And no chile crano, a do baby and sorrow crano at the program be tune in this war. Youth group war, women fellowship war, men fellowship war, singing band war, and then so many groups, and they have a special month in the year, calendar year. They see what
FM.
I could be in a medium. Ye too. Ye bobo and MPC. I only cry boca crime and heading. Ye Musika can't near the medium. And do baby cry harvest. Ye was sorry them. And do baby cry Covinia, ye was sorry them. Ye di pesika. Ewo timem fonjen anon salmon jen ediko ye nyame dwuma ewo nyame fie na wo kɔ Quran no mu a ye wo bibi o mo frɛ no Islam no ifem on zakat. Zakat is a form of a levy in the mosque in the Islamic faith. Say ye yi to kakranka ye di bua nyame dwuma ewo nyame fie sanete efie da bia yakosom ewo dwuma say imam no preach wie ni ye bompa wie a obonzo peni bi kita plate won nsem o se fi sabi di lie kakra bia wo nsem no fatu plate no sabi ye di ye nyame adwuma na se ne wo hwed nyama se ye nyama se se asiako and the demands of citizenry enso ntwaye na aban stretchy boy no humboni se o de be ye nyama amamfa so abaso na se de wi se ye di ba na se ye kwa na se ye njintuma ya sabi or say who yisika from your bank account e de betu we no so on tax o ene otiom hu e de sikrom cheche mu ka kire nze dabi de an ye nia no mu ka no se yi monster yi levy no monster no enye sa na tie en cheche mu ama ye nyina ye te ase na nya yi ni kakran ne de aboa ama ye di ye dwuma yi en di mesre menwa Oklitey Terlabi say yi levy is no monster. It's not. Until you bet ye once say, ya yet me for no, I was saying, you buebi. After I hear from the betua ye levy. Because we are me, I'm a tea, me, I'm a tea, or new Terlabi or tea, or no better their constituency. Me go parliament, me medina empty and honor, or tea consumption me tell me. You were emptying a desk. With the post office one, there's a young lady there. o tua na me so bi tua because ye dia ba what can we say enyo mo mba receive one no be tua it is we and you be a crasy war na say woman 100 Ghana cedis woman 200 Ghana cedis and no be tua bi kakra but no tie crasy one no why not dey come no it is some of us ta flache ya bibi kakra wo yensem no yen ne ye be kakra kakra ne ye dia ko and me I'm ready say abeti kakra na ye dia boa ama menya bibi papa ewo me man temu I've seen nothing wrong with it and to mesre menua and this for no baby ye do no it is our country. Let's fight for ourselves. Let's see how we can develop our country. And yet the biana ye kita plate won sembla la sula la say ekoji e sika e di fi baby wo sabi baby a wo koji sika de free no ono so ye to de ye fi disem ansa na ye di bi ye de ma wo so why can't we also find why ye be fa so a e be gibi e fi ya ye mam for more but I think say the be boa mini microphone no me brothers no NDC for no say bibi bia you love fiscal revenue should be tied to a project that we can physically see say ye the year Accra edi kokumase and ye every for now we call Eastern Corridor campaign no we call not would do if any saying in so would tra oti river no would we need check pandai ya ye kwanwa ya ye pandai ya ye bulinsi ya ye bimbila would do bimbila a devil contracted them 24/7 trucks in kwan so sa now they are doing for the Volta region side hono oti hono nkwantano and so ediba ya to guchegu ya ye dem ye we nya fa so and media me amesre me nuanom say at least omoma aban accountable says kana moje no at least it should tie to something say bia ye the bridge we wa ye kwan we wa from ha eko dumase krobo ye ediko eyi asesewa ye we ediko kpasenpe because if wungu na wo yakaba ekwanu is on third okay is on third say ye di fa matimemfo no ehun sampa sika na ye gi ni we na
mo dey ayebi very well
yeah.
Mame Nase na yentie honorable Oklitey Terlabi honorable
yo media
any other issue I'll prefer the home oh no, like maybe the issues are open for
Asana Mekoso no say Abu Zaid also union of easy loans and savings. Also mean country say Madina.
Oh okay.
Also mean country say school down na Okan. Bakusi Nana Kufuado Chrome and a Bakusi Baumiani district. And the other districts no so no. Yes. Obi, you see, my car, baby, I repeat you, and say this is a very difficult time to be working for Nana Akufo-Addo as either his spokesperson or a party person or his appointee or whatever. Very, very difficult time for anybody who is working for this government. Why am I saying so? Also, the last week, there's 3 statements from the other side about taxation, trying to tell us the importance of taxes, why we need taxes. And in fact, first statement, I didn't make any comment. Second one, third one, by me sorry here. And I may say, I was so much impressed about almost statement now. At the same time, I'm surprised. Say, these kind of statements are coming from our brothers on the other side. Because once upon a time in this country, now, now what actually happened was that ever since I discovered, oil revenues had been major part of our budget funding. Ye planning about 90%. Ye were revenues na fi oil mono. Ye the planning even now. Ye budgetary allocation ni we no. Ye no ni mo budget no NCP. Now 2013-14 we had a problem with the the pricing of the price of oil. Then on top of that, our capacity fell. Quantity reduced by almost 3/4. We're expecting 120 barrels. The year budget near the I don't know the day, the price fell to 40, and the production also fell to below even 50,000 barrels per day. The then Minister of Finance, through the then President, through the Minister of Finance, by Parliament. The first year say, review budget, because projection says into reduce. Look, as a country, your problem to say here. What we have to do is that we will look within. The be raising funds and they need their support. So the first thing we did was that because at the same time, these oil, companies, was a lot of loans they are from banks and because revenue is not falling and the banks, banks, the government was not able to pay them, and now pressure back banks and also. So in the wisdom of the then government, let us introduce a certain tax, energy sector levy. Petrol, so because at the time it was 40. The impact will not be that much, but at least it will rake in some revenue for us to plug the holes. That was the beginning of what we call, what came into our local balance, nuisance tax. Nuisance tax. I remember His Excellency, now Vice President Dr. Baumia, even one of your studios, so we are taxing the people too much. We're taxing them. And it was cyclical. And it was not promoting growth. And that we need to move from taxation to production. And I remember they were told, say, hey, abanu memudel, wait, ubemwa, and obehu senate. Another thing was borrowing. I remember Oken Oforiata. Or say we cannot borrow ourselves out of debt. No, we cannot continue. And that you cannot leave the 9 billion. Okay, debt. Ama you be raising friends saying debt echo 120 billion. Who be that? It led to let my vote count for a machi onto Flagstaff House. Now Jubilee House. Occupy Ghana. These are people, professionals. And then they are the lead, advocates for this government. Now, nobody should deceive you. Look, I am not saying say COVID and impact our economy way so, but we started the free fall of our economy started from 2019. We started having problems where we were borrowing more than we could pay. It started long before COVID set in, because all along you raise concerns that when we see the economy is resilient. Now, look at the whole West Africa. Compatriots the sub-region. Go back. Togo, Nigeria, Senegal, all the countries there were and then post-COVID, profiling. Go and look at one performance. What they went through. The first time, you recorded 3 cases of COVID. We went for $1 billion. Our reserves, they came to Parliament. We released everything to them. Stabilization Fund, Heritage, everything was released.
Oh, Heritage was.
Heritage.
They made a move, but it was stopped.
No, they
what
did.
What
They did.
Was stabilization.
No. They did.
They applied for the Heritage.
Check.
Tax, but it was not allowed.
They did. Look, all of this funding, right? All of this money could not save us from the situation you see here. It couldn't save us. Now, I wish, say, they will listen to Atuguba. I know the Professor Atuguba.
Yeah, Professor Atuguba.
Raymond, I don't agree with him, say, at all costs, as I say, yeah, approval levy. I don't. But then,
he made a spirited
appeal.
At all costs.
No, he said,
no,
that was what he said. You know, maybe I'm paraphrasing it. But what I'm saying is that what he said, the essence of what he said was that, I mean, it is.
The levy is needed.
Yes, I mean,
yes.
In fact, it was the number one. He said, I mean, he was giving his recommendations. Number one, we should approve the levy, though it is a wicked tax. It is so and so. He described with all manner of adjectives. Then he gave a condition. Or say, look, the government should stop lying to us. They should tell the people the truth. You understand what I'm saying? Look, the way I know Titus or Kasaya, me touching my heart. But the fact is that you cannot be telling me this whilst you are renting private jets and gallivanting this whole, the world with it. Whilst there are other means, if we all have to, embrace the austerity measures nowadays, banner, show the way. Don't go and rent, what do you call it, a private jet that will cost you more than $14,000 an hour. Where is the austerity? So the maker say, listen, with all that they said, have you seen the budget? I mean, have you seen the budget? Co-appendices, no. Now, amount of the allocations now, those allocations that were done. How much was going to, what do you call it, the seat of government? You see the amount, the increment, You see how much? And that is the reason why they go get money to do certain things that Omoya. And then, people are saying, no, we cannot entrust, you with any other, what do you call it? Because what we have given you, we have demonstrated, say, you could not manage it. You misuse it. I listen to him more times and I said, look, this government would only have to come down, accept, say, they got it all wrong. They must accept that. They must stop. One more approach. They said, you have done this, you have done this, you have done it. How much of, how much is the cost of what you have done? If you just oppose it with the amount of money that came, came to you as revenue. So the maker say, anything, the woman can and he say, the attribution to COVID, though, they must accept, say, Master, we had a problem prior to COVID. And Ukasa Nomaka just say, we had an average growth of about 7% from 2017. Oh, Obi, seriously speaking, in minim plant kwa aduaba kwa udua eson tempa me be example mekoya what do you call it? Oh, aboa we apetupre wo mudua no those small pepper no ono na apetupre onigu ho no ma em say best in 2 months or whatever we say na aso na yewe uhwe whatever led to whatever Grover you register in 2017. Now we share economic intelligence unit for wabu projections. World Bank projections na dia omu ye no. Omu predictions ni projections omu ye nyina the outlook of our economy. 2016-2017. The omu ye nyina because of the inputs from the NDC government. What we did. And what we did, the investment we made, and what we did to the economy before we left. And that was what yielded the 7-8%. When they started with their own, input in there, they started saying, follow. And problems no start. It started not after COVID. Before COVID, we were in trouble. Because they were borrowing left, right, center. And the monies were being used recklessly. Recklessly. And that is why COVID be shaking here kakrano. After all COVID, how many days then you call what do you call it? You call lockdown. How many days? How many days? To the extent that with all this amount of money that came, no, we could not use that to mitigate the effect of whatever happened to us. So, and then what we have to do is to bring another tax. No cannot say sorry. Look, a GDA obi wo honoma. Ni GDA try say on nanti anajo nekeda. And no, it defies logic. Economy ni enye GDA na yede yewu. Enye obi faith. Obi GDA di say enemi me te hono mu fi anopa ekopi menwumra mi nidi. Obi amami akwankyere. Enya akwankyere. We know is based on facts. The fact is that the air can say, ene say, me no want to one say, na say ye tua ye ka, na me sika two phone no so. Na ye koto fuel. Now if I decide to use mobile money, no, I'm going to pay extra. I am going to pay extra. Say who decided say we use sika no from bank cash now they akotua. What am the extra now me tua no won tua bi. And they can say the fact the tax no enye fair. Enye fair. And then no mean to everything you go and buy say yeah because of VAT no. Consumption that all of us pay. Ye nyina ye tua anything you purchase e wo Ghana ha no. Utua VAT also. Unless otherwise wo oka mamoefo na wo mu koto no na wo mu nyi VAT receipt ni ade no. Then you will not do it. But then uko anything be Ghana hanmu, whether locally or foreign, no, ni nyina ye tua tax also.
Honorable, you've done 15 minutes.
And the American say to us in a minority, we are not saying say we want to be from we live in a
okay.
They can bring it. They can tell their story. I'm happy Chairman has realized say, they didn't do their homework well. Okay, after trying to bulldoze their way, when we say, we didn't do well, we didn't start well, and in the court round, I've also heard, say, first deputy speaker say, the what do you call it? The town hall meetings, people are accepting it. Fine. The fact is that for us, the representative of you represent the 137 now, you represent, your constituencies, Me call baby in my constituency. Emma Obia approach me say, Munko approve what do you call it? 11. Everybody, the one in it say, hey, Master, 11 need a monster. Mamma Emma, because you're brother. Because baby COVID affecting US. Today they are giving them paychecks free. Because of that, I see blacks look right. They see there. A Juma no crab background person because at the end of the day, they are being given some Sikebi okoye Juma no crab at the end of the month you may not even get. Yeah, Hanomo dear. After we have introduced COVID levy, right? We have introduced 1% COVID levy, and then VAT is increasing. All in the name of the effect of COVID. What do we need? Why do we need to introduce another one? And that is what the people are saying.
Mate. Honorable, Mami Nase na mintie James Kwabena Bomfeh. So, ne thoughts on this one. Na afi yahwe etimi arapiaba. James Bebem